Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marc Drucker Show, Marc Drucker Podcast, which you can always find on www.mdhypno.com. Marc is a world-renowned hypnotherapist. He is also a hypnotherapist instructor. If you want to learn the techniques of how to become a hypnotherapist, Marc is a certified instructor. He specializes in people that have panic attacks, anxiety problems, fears and phobias, addictions. He helps people with motivation and post-traumatic stress. And actually, we're going to talk about post-traumatic stress right now in this podcast. So I'd like to introduce Marc Drucker himself.
Hello, everybody. It's Marc here. Hello, friends out there. Glad you're listening. Today, we're going to talk about something serious, post-traumatic stress. Everything I do is typically serious, though I do have a wonderful sense of humor, as you could tell.
You know, we have fun on these podcasts, but because, it's nice to put a little
levity.
Comedy makes people feel more comfortable, and I like the way you talk and do things, and I think that's nice. But I think these podcasts are really informational, and they are serious, and people that have these issues, they've probably been, going to psychologists or whatever, all these, years and years and years. And I got to tell you, it's like anything else when it comes to, like if your back was hurting you and you couldn't get it fixed, you'd go to a chiropractor, you'd maybe get some acupuncture, you try different things. I'm telling you that hypnotherapy is, if you haven't tried it, it could change and save your life. And with that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say that.
No, that was a wonderful addition. Yeah, so post-traumatic stress. People hear it all the time. And one thing I'm not going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about in another podcast, is post-traumatic stress as it relates to veterans. That's a very serious topic. I'm going to talk about that in another podcast. Today I'm going to talk about generalized post-traumatic stress as it relates to everybody. Sometimes people use post-traumatic stress like they use it loosely. Like people say I have OCD because they wash their hands before they eat. That's just hygiene. That's not OCD. That's not OCD. That's hygiene. So they get everything a little confused. But post-traumatic stress is something that everyone has had a little bit of that in their lives, because let's see, when you're born, your subconscious mind that holds all your memories, beliefs, thoughts, habits, identity, it's empty because you haven't experienced anything yet.
Right.
And the conscious mind, the analytical part, doesn't come until the age of 5. That's why when I was a little boy going to nursery school, my neighbor used to drive me in his big Cadillac, and he used to push the button in for the lighter, I remember, and then he'd open up the ashtray, and a lollipop would come out. And I had no idea. I just thought it was a candy. It was a lollipop machine. And so every day when he would drive us to school, because he was driving his kids too, I would ask for the lollipop. It'd be a whole thing. And it was a ruse. I just didn't know any better because I was too young and I didn't have the analytical
It was Santa
abilities.
Claus. It was Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, a lot of things people pick up as a child stay with them. I was talking yesterday, in fact, to a very nice woman who started telling me about how every relationship she gets into, she sabotages. And, I asked a few probing questions, and then, she'd been dating for a few decades. She was in her late 30s, and then the conversation just automatically shifted to her father. Her father is an immigrant from, doesn't matter what country. He was a good man, but he was very cold, very stoic. If she got a 98, why didn't she get a 99 or 100? Wasn't very loving or affectionate, and he was the first to kind of put her down or knock her down a peg. So every time a guy does something nice or romantic or a gesture, she sees it as something patronizing or manipulative. Every guy she dates, she sees her father. And every guy she dates, she just messes up the relationship. And she's banging her head against the wall. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? It's because she's dating daddy over and over, and she doesn't trust daddy.
Maybe she should try women.
No, I think she should try to get over. I think it'd be the same thing with women, and if it was a relationship. I mean, sexuality, I don't think is based on like a lack of options.
Well, I just mean like maybe she sees every guy as her dad. So.
Well, that's a possibility. I'll let her know you suggested that, and I'll give her your phone number. I know you are, Pete. No, but what we have to do is we have to get down to work, and we have to neutralize the feelings she has towards her father, because these men are not guilty of any crime. They're not guilty of the crime that her father committed against her. It's not a crime, and they're already guilty before they've even done anything. So when she and I are going to start working together, and I've worked with people with the situation over and over again. And this is, when it comes to post-traumatic stress, this is a pretty, there's a lot worse out there. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So the post-traumatic stress, this is, you're talking about things that have happened even earlier in your life.
Yeah. It's where the seed gets planted earlier in your life, and you just keep what she was doing is something called transference. It's called relationship transference. She sees a boyfriend, and she sees her dad, and they're her dad. That's called emotional transference. There are people who have had, and so my job is to work with her to neutralize her anger or fear or whatever it is that she has towards her dad, and be the type of woman and accept the type of love that she deserves.
Okay.
That's just one example of many. I deal with a lot of people who were terribly, awfully abused as a child, males and females, who were abused in ways that I'd rather not say over the radio, but you get the idea. From beatings, summarily beatings, never knowing if they're going to wake up and get a beating or wake up and not get a beating. It's the worst kind of corporal punishment, and it gets worse from there. And so now they're adults. Their dads or moms or whoever, their uncles, or step parents, whatever, they are gone and dead. But yet they're still living out this trauma every day of their lives. They don't realize it, but it affects all kinds of different areas of their life, be it employment, relationships, the way they feel about themselves. So we got to stop this chain of events. It just keeps happening over and over again. They keep reliving it and retorturing themselves. And so post-traumatic stress is important to stop that vicious cycle of getting in your own way, of hurting yourself, of a self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity, so they can live happy, fruitful lives.
How do you, if somebody, how do you diagnose that the person even has post-traumatic stress? Okay.
Diagnose is a word that I don't use.
Okay, so we don't use that in
As a certified hypnotist, under my licensing, I don't diagnose people.
Okay. So how do we determine if somebody has, is that a word we can use?
Yeah, determination's fine. A lot of times they'll come in. Well, in my 5-session interactive program at the Drucker Hypnosis Center, we do proprietary procedures. It's interactive, so people are not sitting by as they're being hypnotized. They're an active participant, and they're able to identify the origins, to neutralize it, and to move on with their lives. Okay. Does that answer your question, Pete?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, cool. And so if you're out there and you need some help, if your life's not going right, you can't get over something from the past, you're not sure what it is from the past that's getting in your way of living a happy, productive life, you can just call my office. Ask for me.
Free consultation.
Yeah, complimentary consultation. Answer as many questions as you like. You can call, text, email. I'm always available. If I'm not available, I'll call you back within 24 hours. You can reach me for the free consultation at 347-470-8262. That's 347-470-8262.
We could also find you on the web.
Yeah, it's www.md, as in Marc Drucker, then the word hypno, mdhypno.com. That's my website. I'm all over the internet. I'm world renowned. I work with people who come to see me from all over the world, all over the country. And if you need the help, give me a call.
Excellent. Thanks for doing this podcast, and we look forward to the next one.
Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day, evening, morning. Bye-bye.